All right. Good afternoon, everyone. The time is 2 p.m., so we're going to go ahead and get started. This is the state expedited accusations calendar in the state court of Fulton County, Georgia. I am Judge Melanie Williams, and at this calendar today, we will set bond for those individuals who have been recently arrested, or the cases have already been formally accused, and bound over to state court. Is courtroom 2 on the line? Oh, somebody called. Oh, courtroom 2 is there. Are we gonna turn on the? Is anyone at courtroom 2 before we go any further? In the meantime, are there announcements from the attorneys before we begin? All right. All right, there's courtroom 2. Thank you. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have the right to counsel today. As you can see, I am conducting this hearing by video. I am not there in person with you. That means any person, any member of the public may be able to log on and watch this particular proceeding. It's being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded. When I ask if you understand your rights, that is what I am referring to. We have a very large calendar today. Have all defense attorneys had the opportunity to interview their clients?
I'm only missing one. This is Rashid Morel from the Public Defender's Office. It's going to be a Ricky Hammett. He was coming over from the Alpharetta jail. So whenever he gets to Rice Street, I will have to break out to interview him.
Or is Alpharetta gonna log on?
My understanding is that he was en route to 901 Rice Street when I called Alpharetta.
Okay, that's unfortunate in light of today's calendar. All right, all right, we're gonna.
I'm only missing one myself.
Who are you missing, Mr. McLean?
Luther Davis, I believe he may have been at South Annex, and they're going to try to find him.
And Mike, he's represented by Carell McCrimmons by private counsel.
And yes, Judge, good morning. Good afternoon. I was going to say we do represent Mr. Davis, although I have not had an opportunity to speak with him.
Is that defendant, is Mr. Davis at courtroom 2 yet, or he's still on the way from South Annex?
We have Mr. Davis here at South Annex. He had already been brought in and was waiting for McLean. So he has does he have a?
He has a private attorney. Can we put those two in a breakout to speak quickly?
Actually, he's coming from the dorm and he'll be down here shortly. Can we get the number to contact his private attorney in the group chat?
Okay. Or Mr. McCrimmons, can you put a number in the chat? Or you can chat the screen that says South Annex if you don't want everybody to have your phone number.
It's no problem, Judge. Thank you.
All right. Who do we have first at courtroom 2?
You start position 2, Mr. Barnes.
All right. And are there announcements for resets or other things of that nature at courtroom 2 today?
Yes, Your Honor, but I have yet to get all of them. I do have position 21 so far. He's at Grady.
Okay. 21 is the medical reset. Okay. If you could get those together for me, that will help so I know which ones to prepare for. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. I also have position 34. It's a behavioral reset. He refused to come to court.
Okay.
And position 38 is a MH reset.
All right, thank you.
Well,
all right, Mr. Barnes, your case is 25 CR 005039D. In this case, you're charged with driving with a suspended license, giving a false name, having no license on your person, having an expired license, driving on the wrong side of the street, and failure to obey traffic signs and signals. Do you understand your rights today?
Mr. Barnes.
Okay. Do you understand your rights, Mr. Barnes?
I do.
All right, thank you. Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was August the 20th. No, that was this arrest. See, it's showing 25 arrest cycles, arrests out of Georgia and Florida, felony conviction in 2022 for theft by shoplifting, 2015 financial transaction card theft and financial transaction card fraud. There's a 2024 misdemeanor conviction for DUI 2016 criminal trespass. Nothing further to report.
All right, thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant currently has a $5,000 bond set on this case. It's a bind over case, and the facts of the case are that on August 20th, 2025, officers observed the defendant, who was on Peachtree, failing to obey the left turn only sign, continuing straight, driving on the wrong side of the road. Officers pulled the defendant over, asked him for his driver's license. He stated he left it at home. He then gave the name, James Bond, with a date of birth of 1/4/1974, after giving a different fake name, Rodriguez Magruder. The officer was able to determine through a fingerprint, cross-referencing the fingerprints with a fingerprint scanner, who the defendant actually was, and that he had an active warrant out for Fulton County Sheriff's Office for a probation violation. Additionally, that his license was expired and suspended. The defendant was then placed under arrest. I will say that it appears that the defendant has, I believe, a hold as well. Let me just double check that. The state is requesting a $3,000 surety bond. We're agreeable to reducing those counts, each of those counts, from $1,000 to $500 for a $3,000 surety bond. He does have a probation violation. He's currently being held on with no bond. The reason we are not agreeable to a signature bond on this is because if he's released on these charges but is still in jail on the probation violation, he won't accrue any credit for time served toward these charges in 2 weeks. So we are trying to, cut down on the amount of issues that will entail if he does get a signature bond through the jail while still being held on a probation violation. We are also asking that he have no driving without a valid license, registration, or tag. That's all for the state.
Okay, give me 1 second. 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 charges, correct?
Right. So that's
I'm
why
sorry.
we're recommending 3,000, making it 500 per charge for a total of 3,000.
Ms. Bridgewater, what is my reset date? I'm sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. It's gonna be September the 9th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Merrill, this is your client.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you object to hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a $30 cash bond?
No, I don't object.
All right. Defendant is going to receive a $30 cash bond, $5 on each count. He's not to drive unless he has a valid license, and he's have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Because he's got a cash bond, he is going to be reset to all purpose on September 9th. Anything additional from the state of defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
No, Your Honor.
Best of luck to you, Mr. Barnes. Who do we have next?
Next is position 35, Mr. Stubbs.
Mr. Stubbs, your case is 25 CR 004983A. You're charged with obstruction and theft by shoplifting. You understand your rights?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was July 24th, 2023 out of DeKalb for an FTA. There's 13 total arrest cycles in Georgia. A felony conviction in 2013 for theft by taking, where they received first offender, and it was sealed in 2023. There's a misdemeanor theft by shoplifting in 2012. Nothing further.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Harrison.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. The state's recommendation is in line with the preset bonds, which is $1,000 surety on the obstruction and $600 surety on the theft. We're asking for a stay away from the Publix located at 1544 Piedmont Avenue Northwest, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. This incident stemmed from an incident on August 21st, where an officer observed the defendant walking around the Publix with a bag, and he observed him take multiple items into the bathroom, including a box of fried chicken, and subsequently leave with essentially nothing in his hand. So he stopped him and asked him where the items was, where all the items were, and attempted to detain him and asked him to place his hands behind his back, and the defendant began to resist. And that'll be all for the state.
All right, thank you. Mr. Maryland, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please proceed.
Yes, so Mr. Stubbs sitting before you in courtroom 2. He is 32 years old, Your Honor. He's also a lifelong resident of Georgia. He does have 2 children, the ages of 13 and 14, and he was attending military school, Your Honor. Now, Your Honor, in this particular case, Your Honor, they charged him with obstruction, Your Honor, but according to the warrant, they had already taken him down to the ground and pepper sprayed him. And I believe it indicated that they were having a handcuffs. They were trying to put the handcuffs on him, but then took him to the ground and then pepper sprayed him. And then, as you know, if he was on the ground, that means his stomach was down. So our ask from the defense is asking, since he does, his last conviction was in 2013. He doesn't. Our position is that he doesn't violate the Ayala factors, Your Honor. He doesn't pose a significant risk of fleeing from our jurisdiction since he does live here in Georgia. He doesn't pose a significant risk of committing a felony. Your Honor, the only felony that he has, according to pretrial, was in 2013. He also doesn't pose significant risk of being a danger to our community or society. He doesn't have property charges or a lot of crimes against people, and there is no significant risk of him being harassing the state's witness, which is the fourth Ayala factor. So we would be asking for a signature bond on this particular case since he is eligible. Nothing further.
All right, defendant is going to receive $1,000 surety bond, 500 on each count. He's to stay away from that Publix, have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. Is there anything additional?
No, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Stubbs. That concludes your case for today. Who do we have next?
Next is position 5, Mr. Brown.
Okay, Mr. Brown, your case is 25 CR 005007G. You are charged with simple battery, family violence. You understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Ms. Hardy?
Last arrest was December 4th, 2024 out of Fulton for false report of a crime. That case appears to be open under 24 CR 007958G. There's 2 total arrest cycles out of Georgia. There's a misdemeanor conviction in 2024 for a DUI. Nothing further.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. Just to let you know on that open case, let me see something just for a second. Okay, so let me go through the facts and then let you know the bond on the open case. The facts on this case, Your Honor, are that on August 24th of 2025, the officer spoke to Eric Hightower. Mr. Hightower stated he was sharing an apartment with the defendant, who is a former boyfriend. They are not currently dating, but they were dating for approximately 3 years. They were having an argument about the lease agreement, and the defendant came into Mr. Hightower's bedroom, grabbed Mr. Hightower, and then an altercation began. Mr. Hightower was able to overpower the defendant and hold him down. And the officers deemed that Mr. Brown was the primary aggressor, since he is the one who came in the room and grabbed Mr. Hightower, which led to the incident at hand. We do understand that the defendant does not have a significant history. We are agreeable with SOB through pretrial services. Level 1, no further violent contact with Eric Hightower. Let me just take a look at something. We did have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Hightower. He did state that he is okay with no violent contact and he's okay with the defendant returning to the residence. We'd also ask for some anger awareness, either 1 or 2 days of anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. That's all for the state.
All right, is Mr. Hightower present, wishes to make a very brief statement today? Okay, Mr. McLean, do you object to the signature bond at level 1 with the anger awareness and no further violent contact?
We do not.
All right, defendant is going to receive a $3,500 signature bond through pretrial services at level 1. He's to have no further violent contact with Mr. Hightower, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. He's going to take a 1-day anger awareness course. Is there anything additional from the state or defense?
Nothing.
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case for today. Can we stick with another case that belongs to Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor. Position 7, Mr. Coleman.
And Your Honor, I apologize. With Mr. Brown's case, did you order anger awareness?
I did one day.
One day. Thank you.
Thank
Just wanted
you.
to put down in my notes.
Yes, ma'am. All right, Mr. Coleman, your case is 25 CR 005011D. In this case, you're charged with battery family violence and simple battery family violence. You understand your rights today? Is that a yes? You can nod. All right, thank you. Ms. Hardy?
Last arrest was December 16th, 2022 out of Clayton for criminal trespass. There's 2 total arrest cycles in Georgia. Nothing further to report.
All right, thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. The officers reported on August 24th of 2025 to 3272 Dodson Drive Connector in East Point. At that point, they spoke with Miss Stephanie Cherry, who stated she was in a verbal altercation with the defendant, who she lives with. They were arguing about money, and then the defendant struck her several times in the face with a closed fist, leaving her with a busted lip. After that, he punched her several times again, and she fell onto the couch. She stated he then ran out of the apartment when she called the police. She also indicated to police that they had been together for approximately a month. They do not have children together, and that they live at the apartment with a friend who rents the apartment. The officers did observe a busted lip on Miss Cherry, as well as the fact she was sweaty and had a bruise on her left elbow. We did not have an opportunity to speak with Miss Cherry about her wishes regarding contact. The state will ask for a $3,000 surety bond on the family violence battery, a $1,000 surety bond on the family violence simple battery, for a total of a $4,000 surety bond. No further contact with Miss Cherry, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And we're also going to request that he stay away from the address listed, which is the address at
Dodson Connector.
3272 Dodson Drive Connector in East Point. We would like to sound for Miss Stephanie Cherry at this time. That's all for the state.
All right, is Ms. Cherry present? Okay. Mr. McLean, any problems with the stay away and the no contact?
The stay in the way, no contact are fine. I'll just argue the bond, Your Honor.
I'm going to do a
I
signature
am
bond.
present.
All right, very quickly, if you want to make a very brief statement, please turn on your camera.
I told him he didn't put his hands on me.
No, stop for a second. If you wish to make a statement, please raise your right hand.
Oh, okay.
Do you swear or affirm testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what I'm most concerned with is whether you wish to have contact with the defendant or if you have any concerns for your safety. There'll be other hearings where you can tell us about what happened. That's not what's critically important today. In light of those instructions, what would you like to tell me, Ms. Cherry?
Nothing. He didn't. I don't want to press no charges or nothing.
So no
That's
concerns
not
for
even
your.
what I told the officer what happened.
No, I'm asking you. Do you have concerns for your safety, and do you
No,
wish to have
ma'am.
contact with the defendant?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. In light of the evidence before me and the statements of the witness, defendant is going to receive a $4,000 signature bond at level 2 through pretrial services, $3,000 on count 1, $1,000 on count 2. He's going to take a 2-day anger awareness course and have no further violent contact with the alleged victim in this case. Is there anything additional from the state or the defense?
Your Honor, the state would object to a signature bond on this case, given the events that occurred and the injuries that the officers observed.
Understood. Bond will remain as set. All right. Is there anything additional from the state or the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
And Your Honor, just to make sure, how much anger awareness did you issue?
2 days.
2 days? Okay,
2
that's
days
what I thought.
and
Okay.
2 days and level 2.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next is position 15, Mr. Gordon.
He's 15 and 16 or just 15?
Just 15. There's a
Okay.
Devin
So we
Robert.
need to take this case last. Can we take another case, please?
That's all I have currently. They're on
There were
route.
some private attorneys. Attorney Medley, who do you represent?
Miss Rozier.
Yeah, she's over here. They're bringing her around the corner now.
Okay, she's not present yet.
Not present.
I was.
If you all don't mind, can we go with position 23, Joshua Lord? He's ready. The other private attorney is still talking.
Is that Mr. Merrill's case? That might be why we can't do it.
No, Your Honor.
No,
That's yours? Okay. That's great. We can take position 20. No, we can't take that case. We can't. Unless the state consents to a breakout, which I doubt they do.
can we go with Compton then, position 8, Keontae Compton?
We can do Compton.
I've got Compton.
Compton.
All right. We can do that case.
Paperwork.
Mr. Compton has two cases. Mr. Compton, your cases are 25 CR 005013G, in which you're charged with battery, family violence, battery against a pregnant female, simple battery, and another count of simple battery against a pregnant female. In the other case, 25 CR 00, you're charged, I'm sorry, 25 005017G, you're charged with operation of a vehicle without a revalidation decal. Do you understand your rights today?
Do you understand?
You understand your rights, Mr. Compton? You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to counsel. You understand that? All right, he's been apprised of his rights. Ms. Hardy, please proceed.
Scooter, please.
The last arrest was November 2nd, 2019 out of Fayette for possession of Schedule 1 or 2 with intent. That is their only arrest cycle. Nothing further to report.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Polk.
Yes, Your Honor. So just to start with the easiest one, the no tag displayed. When the defendant was arrested on August 20, looks like 23rd, on this case for an outstanding warrant, he also was pulled over and arrested for having no tag. At the time, he was driving on Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and was pulled over by Officer Henry. And when he was pulled over for not having a tag, he also was arrested for having an outstanding warrant, which is the other case. The other case on our calendar happened on July 13th of 2025 at 2190 Verbena Street Northwest in Atlanta. Officers spoke with Quiteria Rawson, who stated that she and the defendant have been living together for 2 years and they were in a relationship. He was arguing with her and they were arguing about him throwing items inside of the home. He then grabbed her around the neck and began choking her. She did state she did not lose consciousness, but did feel dizzy, and she ended up being checked out by Grady because she was currently pregnant at the time that this incident occurred. The officers did show her a photo of the defendant, who she stated was in fact the person who had done this to her. As I stated, they are in a relationship and were living together at the time. We did have an opportunity to speak with the victim in this case, Your Honor. And when we spoke with her, she stated she is currently 11 weeks pregnant. She did confirm the events in the warrant, stated that he grabbed her with one hand and applied pressure. She did state she was able to breathe, did not feel like she was going to lose consciousness, and she fought the defendant off of her. She also stated this is not the first time the defendant has been violent toward her and not the first time she has called the police, but this is the first time she has been the defendant has been arrested. Although she wants contact, Your Honor, we would strongly object to that, especially given the fact that she herself indicated this is not the first time the defendant has been violent toward her. For obvious reasons, we are concerned about the safety of both her and her child. And for that reason, we are going to ask on the family violence case for a $3,000 surety bond on the family violence battery, a $2,000 surety bond on the simple battery family violence, and then $1,000 on each of the remaining charges of family violence against a pregnant person and simple battery family violence against a pregnant person, for a total of a $7,000 surety bond. We're also going to ask for no further contact with the victim in this case, as well as stay away from the address, which is that address at 2190 Verbena Street Northwest in Atlanta. Family Violence Intervention Program, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We would at this time like to sound for Quateria Rawson if she is present and would like to speak. I would also like to add, Your Honor, that, see, she did indicate in jail calls that the defendant actually did make somewhat of admission in the jail calls and stated he recalled that her neck was red as a result of what happened on the date of the incident, when she clarified to him that he had been arrested for the prior incident. And he also stated he found out she was the one who called the police. So for those reasons, we are also concerned about a risk of intimidation here and would ask for that stay away and no further contact.
Okay, before we go to this case, let's go to position 9. Mr. McLean, do you object to a $5,000 signature bond through the jail and no driving without a valid decal on the car?
No objection.
All right, so for that position, it's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. All right, Ms. Rawson, if you're present, please turn your camera on, raise your right hand if you wish to make a statement. You're not required to, but if you wish to make a statement, this is your opportunity.
I don't think she's in, but Keontae Compton's mother is in. I don't.
Okay, she's here.
Oh, okay.
All right, we need you to unmute.
I'm here.
All right. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be true to the best of your knowledge and is given under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right. Well, what I'm most concerned with today, again, is any concerns you have for your safety, desire for contact. What would you like to tell me?
Well, right about now, I already told them, or I already told her, it's nothing that I can do. Like, if y'all don't want him around me, then it just gonna be that. But other than that, I don't want to press charges or, not be around him.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you coming to court and making that statement. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, Mr. Compton works construction. He has plenty of local phone numbers of contacts. He gets good mail service on, well, if Harbin is not the place to stay away from, it's Verbena, right? So Harbin address is good to get mail through a relative, very reliable mail address. High school education. We're aware of the previous arrest and discussed that. He understands the importance of following all court orders. We would ask for a signature bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Defendant's going to receive a $4,000 signature bond at level 2 through pretrial services, $1,000 on each count. For now, he is to have no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from that location. Yeah. Contact can be revisited at a later date, but for now, it will be no contact. He's to take a 2-day anger awareness course and have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. Is there anything additional from the state or from the defense?
Yes,
Is
Your Honor.
there a way we can get his stuff?
Okay. He can return one time with a member of law enforcement to get any items he may need.
Okay.
Ms. Falk, anything additional?
Yes, Your Honor. Given the fact that she said there has been violence in the past,
Ms. Falk, it's duly noted. Your objection is noted. We have a calendar with 40 people.
Totally understand. We would additionally ask for an increase in the anger awareness.
We were already at 2 days. We'll do 2 days. All right. Ms. Falk, I appreciate your advocacy, but it's 40 people on this calendar. Let's forge ahead. Best of luck to you, Mr. Compton. Have a good afternoon. Who do we have next?
If possible, can we go ahead with Luther Davis, please?
Let's see. Has he
Position 11.
Did we finish that interview?
Yes.
Mr. McCrimmon? Okay, let's
Yes,
proceed.
Judge, I did get a chance to speak with Mr. Davis.
All right, thank you. Wonderful. Mr. Davis, your case is 25 CR 005018J. You're charged with simple assault and criminal trespass. You understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Thank you. Ms. Hardy?
Last arrest was October 19th, 2020 out of Atlanta for cruelty to animals. There's 2 total arrest cycles, arrests out of Georgia and Texas. Nothing further to report.
All right, thank you. Ms. Falk?
Ms. Hardy, is that case, the cruelty to animals case, is that open in our court, in the clerk's record?
It looks like it may be out of city of Atlanta because I wasn't able to
Okay.
find it in Odyssey.
Yeah, I wasn't able to either. So that, okay, thank you. Your Honor, this happened August 23rd of 2025. Defendant was having a verbal argument with his wife, Khadijah Davis, raised his fist in her direction, which placed her in fear of receiving a violent injury. The defendant also at that location through her cell phone, which caused approximately $500 of damage to the cell phone. And the officers were called and took her report, and he was later arrested. I will say that during the interview with Ms. Davis, she had made an outcry of past domestic abuse at the hands of the defendant, but stated she had never called 911. We, again, other than the previous arrest, don't show any history. We are agreeable to an SOB through pretrial services level 1. No further contact with Miss Khadijah Davis at this time. It has been less than 48 hours. We're also asking for no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and anger awareness. On the criminal trespass, the same requirements we are asking for. We would like to sound at this time for Miss Khadijah Davis. That's all for the state.
All right, is Ms. Davis present? Wishes to make a statement? All right, Mr. McCrimmons, any objection to that signature bond with the no contact?
Yes, Judge, we do not have an issue with the signature bond or the no contact, Judge. I think the only concern that we may have is that Mr. Davis does own the property where the incident occurred. This was a home that he did own prior to them being married. He also lives in that home with his 4 children, 3 of which are from a previous relationship. So him, his 3 children, and then her and their 1 child all live there. So, Judge, we would request that he be allowed to remain at the home, Judge. And he has reached out in an attempt to provide some, I guess, counseling or basically a way for her to have somewhere to go as well. But our request would be that he be able to remain at that home with his 3
Right,
biological
I understand.
children as
I'm not
well.
gonna displace the victim, however, Mr. McCrimmon. So what my thought is that if she has vacated, allow him to return, but if she's still residing there, he would have to stay away. So what we're gonna do is this. Defendant is gonna receive a $2,000 signature bond at level 1 through pretrial services, 1,500 on count 1, 500 on count 2. He's to have no contact with Miss Davis at this time. Of course, that can be revisited, and they can use a third party to transfer custody or contact with the child. As it pertains to the home, if she is still residing there, he must stay away. If she has vacated the home, he can return. We're gonna use LEO to make that determination. And again, all of these provisions can be revisited at a later date. These are provisions based upon the recency of the case. Is there anything additional from the state or the defense?
I would just ask,
Go ahead.
And I would just ask one quick question, Judge. Is it possible to do a no violent contact as opposed to no contact just to avoid that misplacement? Because I do understand the concern about her being misplaced, but I also understand the concern about him with his 3 children being misplaced, his 3 children outside of the child that he has with her.
Okay, I'm gonna think about that for a second. Ms. Falk, you were making a point or no?
Just briefly, Your Honor, I was asking if you had ordered anger awareness.
If I didn't, I meant to. He's gonna take the 1-day anger awareness course. Let's clarify that point. I do not want him returning to that home for right now. But I do understand your concerns, Mr. McCrimmon, so we'll make it no further violent contact. However, the stay away will stay in place so long as
Your
she
Honor,
is.
I am going to
Understood.
object with that. The victim does not want contact.
Okay, understood. But I'll leave it in light of the arguments raised, but he must stay away from that home. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Okay, Your Honor, just to get some clarity, if has a stay away, why are we giving no further violent contact?
Because I'm thinking about the other 3 children in that home, Ms. Falk. And I still want him out of that house. I think that if they're allowed to speak by phone as it pertains to other 3 children, that may not disturb, but I do not want him to return to that property. Okay. This is a little bit of a complex situation. I understand it is his home. It is my hope that she will, I'm not going to displace her. I understand that is not what the court intends to do. However, because of the hybrid situation with that family, I understand that there may be some additional concerns there. Okay. And I normally don't give that much of an explanation, as you know, but
No, I
there's a
appreciate
lot
it.
of factors that I'm
Just
trying
yeah,
to weigh here.
and I
Um,
appreciate it, especially in light of the victim's wishes for no contact. Thank
Right.
you.
I understand that she doesn't want, let's make it clear, Mr. McCrimmons, he's not to be calling her, and if they're speaking about the other three children or transfer of the child, that's okay. I still prefer him to use a third party to transfer the child. It's best that he not contact her. That needs to be a priority. However, if some incidental contact occurs as they're dealing with the child, I don't want him to land back in jail because of that. Okay, so let's make it clear to your client that this is not a situation where you should be calling and asking her how he's doing. He really needs to leave her alone. But if there are some issues as it pertains to the child, that is the only reason we have the no further violent contact provision in this case. Okay.
Understood, Judge.
All right. Make that clear to your client as well. All right. Best of luck to all parties concerned in this case.
Next is position 32, Ms. Rozier.
And Mr. McCrimmons, take care. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, I'm sorry, this is Mr. Rozier, position, I'm sorry, what position was it? I'm sorry, the jail's muted, I'm sorry.
I believe it's 32, Your Honor.
Position 32, okay, and it's Miss Rozier? All right, your case, ma'am, is 25 CR 005033J. You're charged with battery family violence and simple battery family violence in December 29th of 2024. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Miss Hardy?
This is her first arrest.
All right, thank you. Miss Harrison?
Your Honor, this incident occurred on December 29th of 2024. Officers were dispatched to 4176 South Lake Street in reference to a domestic disturbance. The caller was actually someone nearby this apartment, and they called due to the level of noise the disturbance was creating. Officers knocked at the door and they met with Mr. Caleb Holtzclaw, who's the victim in this case. When he opened the door, officers noticed immediately that there was an actual red handprint on his throat, and they saw very clearly a thumb print, a palm print, and actual fingerprints around his neck. So they asked him how that happened, and he explained that he was in a verbal altercation with his girlfriend, who is the defendant in this case. And he said when he got home from work, she was upstairs. He went upstairs to get her to come home. And that upset her. An altercation ensued. She came into the apartment and went into the closet to get some things to leave, and subsequently ended up pushing him, is what he told officers. And that's how the injury was sustained. We did speak to the victim in this case. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Ms. Rozier left the apartment prior to officers' arrival, and when they contacted her, she refused to return back to the location. We did speak to the victim in this case. He stated that he and the defendant are in a relationship. They live together. Currently, they share no children. They've moved from the incident location, but they do reside at 806 Adam Walk in Alpharetta, Georgia. He does wish to continue having contact with her. He does not fear her. And I believe he's joined us here in Zoom today. Our recommendation, Your Honor, is a $1,500 surety, no further violent contact with Mr. Holtzclaw, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. While out on bond, we'll also ask that the defendant complete a 2-day anger awareness course. It will sound for Mr. Holtzclaw at this time. That'll be all for this.
All right, is Mr. Holtzclaw present?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, what I'm most concerned with is concerns for your safety, desires for contact. What would you like to tell me?
I have no concerns for my safety whatsoever. I do not want to press charges, didn't press charges, and do not want to be kept away from my girlfriend. She's everything to me, and it was a neighbor that was being nosy and argument that got loud, nothing more than that.
All right. Mr. Medley, do you object to a signature bond at level 1 with a no further violent and a 2-day anger awareness course?
No, ma'am, we do not.
All right. Defendant's going to receive a $2,000 signature bond, 1,000 on each count. She's to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim. That signature bond is at level 1. She is going to take a 2-day anger awareness course, have no alcohol, drugs, weapons, and will be reset for the notice. Is there anything additional from the state or from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
No,
All
ma'am.
right. All right. Does that conclude your business, Mr. Bentley?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Take care. Have a wonderful afternoon and best of luck to all parties concerned.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. What do we have next?
Can we do position 20, Sean Holt?
Okay. All right, Mr. Holtz, your case is 25 CR 005026C. You're charged with loitering and prowling. Do you understand your rights? It looks like a yes, so we'll go with that, Ms. Hardy.
The last arrest was July 13th, 2022 out of Habersham County for an FTA. There's 28 total arrest cycles, a felony conviction in 2022 for possession of methamphetamine, misdemeanor conviction in 2014 for driving without a license. There are 5 additional misdemeanor convictions that are outside the last 10-year period. Nothing further to report.
Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. Defendant was at Georgia. Let me make sure I have the right school. I believe it was Georgia Tech, walking around at 120 North Avenue Northwest in one of the residence halls, which was the North Avenue Apartment South. The defendant was walking around mumbling to himself, and when they spoke with the witnesses, they were determining that he had let himself into the building behind other residents through a gate and through a door which required card access that is specifically to students. The defendant didn't have a lawful reason for being in the residence hall and brought many of the students reported him because they were concerned about him being at the residence hall when he did not appear to have a reason to be in that secure area. We are asking for, I know the defendant has an FTA in the last 3 years. The surety bond is currently set at $600. We're asking it remain as set with the social worker visit for possible BHET or MHET issues, as well as housing. We're also asking for no further, stay away from all Georgia Tech property, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. That's all for the state.
All right, thank you. Mr. McLean, this is your case?
Yes, Your Honor, we have no problem with the stay away. He is a high school graduate. He has a good mailing address on John Golden Road in Temple, Georgia, with a relative. Your Honor, he has a good emergency number. He's a handyman. That's what he does for a living. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond in this situation.
All right, bond is going to remain as set at the $600. He's to stay away from all Georgia Tech properties, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and I am going to ask a social worker to visit him. Is there anything additional?
Nothing.
All right, hearing none. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position 22, Ms. Lean.
All right, Ms. Lean, your case is 25 CR 005012E. You're charged with trespass and obstruction. Do you understand your rights? Thank you. Ms. Hardy.
The last arrest was June the 24th, 2018 out of Fredericksburg, Virginia for forgery. There's 13 total arrest cycles, arrests out of Georgia and Virginia. 2018, obtaining money under false pretense. Also in 2018, forgery. 2017, credit card fraud. And those are out of Virginia. And then out of Georgia, there's a 2012 theft by receiving, where they received first offender, and it was sealed in 2015. Nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. Officers responded to officers responded to the incident location on August 24th, and I'll provide that location in just a second. On the scene, they were actually contacted by the owners of the property due to the defendant remaining on the property after being evicted on August 20th. So officers, knocked and attempted to get the defendant to open the door. They had keys at the apartment, and every time they would insert keys into the lock, the defendant would turn the locks. Officers had to call backup so that they were able to open one door while occupying the other door because the defendant was running back and forth between the doors. And once they opened the door and made contact with the defendant and the other occupant of the house, they did state that they were aware that they were evicted on the 20th. The state's recommendation is in line with the preset bonds here, which is $1,500 surety on each count. And we're asking for the defendant to stay away from the incident location, which is 504 Jefferson Chase. And I want to make sure there's not an apartment. Okay, yeah, it's 504 Jefferson Chase Street in Atlanta. So stay away from there and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. And that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, we would not object to the stay away, certainly, but we would ask the court to consider a signature bond in that my client is an organized person, has a Bachelor of Science degree, has also worked on other matters, been a paralegal, and has plenty of community contacts. There won't be any problem with showing up in court on time. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond under these circumstances. Thank you.
All right, defendant's going to receive a $10 cash fine, $5 on each account. She's to stay away from the address on Jefferson Chase and have no alcohol, drugs, weapons. And because she's receiving a cash bond, it will be reset to the September 9th state all-purpose calendar should she not make bond. Is there anything additional?
Your Honor, yes, if we could get a good address for the defendant.
Okay, Mr. McLean, can you perhaps give that to Ms. Harrison?
I'll have to go back to some other notes to see if I've got that. But I do have the emergency number, so I'll call that person. Thank you.
All right, thank you. What do we have next?
Position 19, Mr. Hines.
All right, Mr. Hines, good afternoon. Your case is 25 CR 005031C. You're charged with obstruction, battery family violence, and simple battery family violence, as well as 3 more counts of simple battery family violence and 1 more count of obstruction. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3. There's 7. I have 7 counts. Is that correct? Do you understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am, but when I got locked up, they said I only had 2.
Okay, I think the state has added some, so we'll forge ahead in a moment. Ms. Hardy?
Yes, the last arrest was March the 14th, 2025, out of city of Atlanta for driving while license suspended or revoked. There's 14 total arrest cycles. Felony conviction in 2017 for driving while license suspended or revoked. 2016 DUI. There's 1 misdemeanor conviction outside the last 10-year period. Nothing further.
All right, thank you. Ms. Wall?
Yes, Your Honor. This happened on August 22nd, 2025 at 549 Cascade Hills Court. Officers were concluding a domestic call at one location when they observed a separate domestic dispute 2 doors down at this location. They were walking back to their patrol cars when they heard a female scream out. They saw that the garage doors of that location were open and saw the victim, Ms. Shezvora Robinson, at that location. They saw the defendant come to the door, grab her by the face, appearing to cover her mouth and dragging her back inside of the house and closing the door. The defendant then came to the garage and began closing the garage door. The officers began to walk towards him and observed the Miss Robinson come out of the front door yelling at the defendant, standing in the doorway. They did speak with her. She identified the defendant, stated he needed to leave, and told police that he had just put his hands on her and grabbed her wig off her head. He then closed the front door and went back inside the residence. They asked if it was her house, and she indicated yes. They did go and meet with the defendant and placed him under arrest. She stated that this had begun as an argument that had escalated from there. Miss Robinson had, visible scratch marks to her right hand that were observed, and that was the basis for the family violence battery and the simple batteries. When the officers did try to place him under arrest, He did tense up, resist arrest from the officers. They did have to tase him as a result of him fighting and actively resisting the officers. We would ask for on this case, and let me just check and see about our contact level. We did have an opportunity to speak with the victim in this case. She did confirm the events in the warrant. She stated this is a drug issue and becomes an issue every weekend. The defendant had grabbed her hand and squeezed it, which caused swelling, and then wrestled her to the ground and placed his hand over her mouth, and that is when police arrived. She stated the defendant has grabbed and manhandled her in the past, and she has called the police on the defendant earlier this year, but the defendant left before the police arrived. She does plan to file for a TPO. She wants no contact and wants him to stay away from the residence. The state would be asking for a $2,000 surety bond on the family violence battery, a $1,000 surety bond on the willful obstruction, $500 on each of the simple batteries, and $1,000 on the last willful obstruction. That would be $6,000 surety bond. No further contact with Miss Robinson. Stay away from her residence, which is at the 549 Cascade Hills Court. No further contact with Shezvora Robinson. We would also ask for anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and an ADET. That's all for the state. We would like to sound for Miss Robinson at this time if she is here and would like to speak.
All right, Ms. Robinson present, wishes to make a statement. Okay, hearing none. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, no problem with whatever the court orders on contact, on whether there's a stay away. He tells me he's going to be abiding by all court orders and conditions of bond. He's 39 years old. He is local, got plenty of local contact information on him. Your Honor, we would ask the court to consider a signature bond in this situation, given the length of time since he's been in trouble.
All right, hold on. Okay, you know, I'm gonna just, defendant's gonna receive a $7,000 signature bond through pretrial services at level 2. He is gonna take the 2-day anger awareness course, and he's to have no contact with Miss Robinson. He's to stay away from her address. If he needs to return, he can do so one time with a member of law enforcement to get any items. Additionally, he's to have no alcohol, no drugs, or no weapons, and he'll be reset for the notice. Is there anything additional?
Was there any anger awareness?
I'm sorry, so it's 1,000 each count, Ms. Bridgewater. My apologies.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Ms. Falk, and it's 2-day anger awareness.
Okay, and state would object to a signature bond.
All right, thank you. All right, who do we have next? Good, best of luck to you, sir.
Next is position 3, Ms. Black.
Ms. Black, your case is 25 CR 005005Y. You're charged with unlawful conduct during a 911 call or making a false report. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was November 22nd, 2023, out of Fulton County for theft by taking. It appears that case is open under 23 CR 007265Y. There's 5 total arrest cycles in Georgia. Nothing further to report.
All right, thank you, Ms. Falk.
And Your Honor, she currently has an FTA on that case and is being held in custody on a $1,000 surety bond on the FTA, $2,500 on this charge. As far as this charge is concerned, the defendant called 911 multiple times and indicated that she was the caretaker and the nurse providing critical care for her ex-significant other and neighbor who has a diagnosed and a known heart condition. The 911 then made that call a high priority, sent EMS over, found out it was a false call. The next day, she again did the same thing, presented herself as a nurse, stated she was actively conducting chest compressions on the defendant, but he was non-responsive. Officers 911 went there again, Grady EMS went there again, found he was perfectly fine, stable, healthy in the presence of a female guest. He stated that he informed the officers that this was a form of harassment that she was using to stop him from having female company by calling 911 and making a report that he was in critical condition. We are going to ask for a $1,000 surety bond on this case for her to have no further contact with 911 unless it is for a legitimate emergency, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. That's all for the state. And I will say she can't get a signature bond through the jail because she does have that FTA.
All right, Mr. McLean.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, she's 47 years old. Although born in Los Angeles, she's been in Atlanta for quite a while. Her sister has a local number as well, so the family's here. The address, I believe that was the upstairs situation, was it not? So her address is correct. She gets good mail service. Your Honor, under these circumstances, we understand about the FTA causing a problem for a signature bond request, but we'd ask the court to set the bond just as low as it possibly can. She will abide by court orders, and this won't happen again.
All right, defendant's gonna receive a $1,000 surety bond. She's not to call 911 unless there's an actual emergency. She's to have no alcohol, drugs, weapons, and because she got a surety bond, she's going to all purpose on the 9th. Is there anything additional?
Nothing for the state.
All right, best of luck to you. That concludes your case for today, Ms. Black. Who do we have next?
We have position 24, Edward Major.
All right, Mr. Major, your case is 25 CR 005028A. You're charged with battery family violence, 2 counts of cruelty in the third, and 2 counts of simple battery family violence. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Harden.
The last arrest was May the 16th, 2017, out of North Dartmouth, Massachusetts, for larceny and breaking and entering misdemeanor. There's 17 total arrest cycles out of Massachusetts. Nothing further to report.
I'm sorry, it was May 16th of this year?
2017.
2017, I'm sorry. Okay, because that messed me up. It's the same incident date. All right, Ms. Harrison.
Yes, Your Honor. On May 16th, 2025, officers responded to 5385 Peachtree Dunwoody Road. They met with the victim, Kason Phillips, who informed officers that he entered his mother's room to kiss her goodnight, and he didn't knock on the door, which subsequently led to the defendant pushing him to the ground by his throat and striking him. And while this was occurring, his younger siblings, who are 6 and 8 years old, were on a couch very near him on the floor and witnessed this incident. The defendant did flee the scene before officers arrived. The state's recommendation, Your Honor, is a $4,000 surety bond, $1,000 for the battery, $1,000 each for the cruelty to children, and $500 for the simple batteries. A stay away from 5385 Peachtree Dunwoody Road. No contact with any of the victims, which is Kason Phillips and the 2 minors whose initials are LE. Completion of a 5-day anger awareness, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. We will sound for Mr. Kason Phillips, even though we did not make contact with him today, and that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
All right, is Mr. Phillips present? Wishes to make a statement? Mr. McLean, hearing none.
Thank you. He has his own company. I noticed in Odyssey it is accurate. It is self-titled installations. He is a contractor who installs residential goods into residences. He's a high school graduate and he's 42 years old. His address is good. The Canyon, I can't tell if that's Canyon Cove. I think it looks like a V, but I can't read my own handwriting. So Canyon something incoming is a good mailing address for him. There should be no problem with him being in court on time, obeying all the court's conditions. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond here.
All right. Defendant's going to receive a $1,500 surety bond broken down as follows: 500 on the battery and 250 on each remaining count for the total of 1,500. He's to have no contact with any of the alleged victims in this case. Stay away from that address. He can return one time with a member of law enforcement should he need to do so. He's to have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, and he is going to all purpose on the night. Is there anything additional?
Nothing.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case. Who do we have next?
Position 33, Ms. Seaver.
All right. Good afternoon, Ms. Seaver. Your case is 25 CR 005034C. You're charged with 2 counts of battery family violence and 2 counts of simple battery family violence. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Hardy.
The last arrest was December 30th, 2023 out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee for a DUI. That is their only arrest cycle, nothing further.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Harrison.
This incident took place, Your Honor, on August 24th at 6201 Beaver Creek Road. Law enforcement responded to a physical domestic dispute call. They made contact with the victim, Mr. Benjamin Clark, who explained that the defendant lives with them. They had gone out to a restaurant for dinner. He didn't like the restaurant. She liked the restaurant. So when he was ready to leave, she wanted to stay. So Ms. Seaver told Mr. Clark, the victim, that she would Uber and he could leave the restaurant. But later that night, he received a call to go pick her up. So he went and picked her up, and he noticed that she was more intoxicated than he thought. But he was able to get her into the car after having to kind of, convince her a little bit. Once they got in the car, she became upset and began attacking him and striking him with her hands. And he attempted to defend himself by blocking her. And then when they arrived at home, this escalated again. And that's when she full on began scratching and hitting him, and he locked himself in the bathroom to prevent her from attacking him any further and called the police. We did speak to the victim today. He stated that they are in a relationship, they live together, they share no children. He confirmed the events in the warrant. He stated this is the first time the defendant has been violent. He is okay with no further violent contact, but he wants her to stay away from the residence. And I believe that they've already made provisions for her family to come and get her belongings from the residence. So the state's recommendation, Your Honor, is a SOB through pretrial services, FVIP. We're asking for random screams, no further violent contact with Benjamin Clark, a stay away from 6201 Beaver Creek Road in Alpharetta, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. And we'll sound for Mr. Clark at this time. That'll be all for this.
All right, is Mr. Clark present? Hearing none, Ms. Merrill, do you object to a signature bond at level 1 and a 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact, and a stay away?
No, I do not object, Your Honor. And just for the recording purposes, I do want to recognize that Miss Caroline Seaver, who is the mother of Miss Juliana Seaver, is also present on the Zoom.
All right. Defendant's going to receive a $3,000 signature bond at level 1. That'll be 1,000 on count 1, 1,000 on count 2, 500 on count 3, and 500 on count 4. She's to have no further violent contact with Mr. Clark and stay away from that address. She can return one time with a member of law enforcement to get any items should she need to do so. She's going to take a 1-day anger awareness course and will be reset for the notice. Is there anything additional from the state or the defense?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, ma'am. That concludes your case for today. Can we take Ms. McLeod's case next?
Yes, Your Honor, position 25, Courtney Mason.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Mason, your case has she heard her rights?
No, Your Honor, the lady.
Okay, everyone at ACDC, please pay close attention. You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have the right to counsel today, and as you can see, I am conducting this hearing by video. I'm not there in person with you. That means any member of the public can log on and watch this particular proceeding. When I ask if you understand your rights, that is what I am referring to. Ms. Mason, your case is 25 CR 005029B. You're charged with theft by receiving. Do you understand your rights today? Is that a yes? Okay, thank you. Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was February 13th, 2024 out of Dunwoody for an FTA. They have 3 total arrest cycles in Georgia. There was a felony conviction in 2020 for robbery where they received first offender, and it was sealed in 2023. Nothing further.
All right, thank you, Ms. Harrison.
Yes, Your Honor. Officers were actually investigating a string of break-ins on July 3rd, particularly around the 11th Street location, 721 and 7112. And on that date, they met with Mr. Gregory Frazen and Bryson Frazee, who stated that they parked their car outside of the Star Meadows building for approximately 10 minutes. And when they returned, things had been stolen from the car. It had been broken into, things like a work-issued iPad, a brown wallet containing personal items, and $350 in cash. Subsequently, officers executed a search warrant on August 14th at 1247 Joseph E. Boone, apartment 14, which is the defendant's address. The apartment is registered to her. And during the search, they located the wallet of Mr. Fraze in the defendant's home, along with his ID, his debit cards, his license, and all of that evidence was turned over to property. The state's recommendation, Your Honor, in this case is a $1,500 surety. We're asking for no drugs, weapons, or alcohol, and we just want to make note that we believe that this is a part of a larger ongoing ring, and so as such, the defendant has another case with similar charges. We're referring that up to the DA's office, and that'll be all for the state.
All right, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My client is 24 years old, and she is a native of Atlanta, Your Honor. She is the mother of 4 minor children, and she tells me that she's currently pregnant, 4 months pregnant with her 5th. She is not working at this time. She has been working for the past 2 or 3 months. So she really has no money for bond, Your Honor. I understand about the FDA, but she has no significant criminal history. If the court is disinclined or prohibited by law from giving her a signature bond, I would ask for the lowest possible surety bond or maybe a very low cash bond because she does have to get out of jail to take care of the children. They are quite young, Your Honor. I think the eldest is only 7 years old and one is 10 months old, not even a year. So these are 4 small children that she's taking care of. And I would also like to point out that even though this was her address, she's not the only person who lives there. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, defendant's going to receive $1,000 surety bond. She's to have no alcohol, drugs, weapons, and she'll be reset to the September 9th state all-purpose calendar. Is there anything additional?
And nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, take care, Ms. McLeod. Have a wonderful afternoon. I know
Thank
you have
Your Honor.
hold on one second, Ms. McLeod. Ms. Mason, I know you have a question. Is it a question about the bond? The best thing for you to do is remain silent. What is your concern?
You know, about and stuff. I had a search warrant for my house.
Listen,
Okay, no.
do not say anything.
No. Okay, Ms. McLeod will speak with you further. Best of luck to you, ma'am, and take care, Ms. McLeod. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Who do we have next?
Position 4, Mr. Blackwell.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Blackwell. Your case is 25 CR 00500068. Your charge was battery and 2 counts of simple battery. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Have you heard your rights? You have a right to remain silent, and you have a right to an attorney. Ms. Hardy?
This is the first arrest.
All right, thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. There currently is a $1,500 bond set on this case on the battery charge. Just so Your Honor knows, there was a preset magistrate bond on this. This incident happened on, just get to my place, on August 22nd of 2025 at 1519 Norman Berry Drive in East Point. It was in reference to a fight. They spoke with Mr. Muzavrali Momin, who stated that the defendant entered the store, purchased some food. He is familiar with him because he always causes a disturbance in that store. He advised the defendant multiple times to leave the business. The defendant yelled at him aggressively and came behind the counter. That's why he actually told him to leave, but the defendant refused to leave from behind the counter and leave the residence and leave the business. He stated that once from behind the counter, he grabbed the male by the arm, brought him back from around the counter, took him to exit the business, and the defendant then struck him with a closed fist multiple times, grabbed him by his legs, and slammed him onto his back. He also stated the defendant sat on top of him and continued to hit him multiple times in the face with a closed fist. And it ended when the defendant's friends removed him off of Mr. Momin. The defendant had caused Mr. Momin's mouth and nose to bleed. He also had visible injury to his mouth and nose. The officers were able to see a full video of the altercation, showed that the defendant was the aggressor. The defendant started by yelling at Mr. Momin, coming to behind the counter, which he was not permitted to do. And then when Mr. Momin had to try to remove him from the business after he refused to leave voluntarily, the defendant then beat up Mr. Momin. We will say that although the defendant does not have a history, it does seem like there was something going on at this location. It is a Dairy Queen, and Mr. Momin did indicate this has happened before where the defendant has come into that restaurant and caused a disturbance. I would ask that the $1,500 bond remain as set, even if it is divided up between the three charges, such as $1,000 on the battery, $250 on the simple batteries. We're also requesting a social worker visit, that he stay away from the Dairy Queen located at 1519 Norman Berry Drive in East Point, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and have no further contact with Mr. Musavrali Momin. We would like to sound for Mr. Momin at this time if he is present and would like to speak. That's all for the state.
All right, is Mr. Momin present? Hearing none. Mr. McLean, this is your case?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Blackwell, 17. He's got a sister and his mom with separate phone numbers right here in town. Your Honor, conditions of bond, we're going to ask for a signature bond. He's a high school student. He's going to graduate early. He's started his senior year, but he's set for early graduation in December because his grades are good and he's in that program. Your Honor, the state's concerns would be met by him meeting the conditions of the court by staying away and having no contact. That would solve that, any potential worries there. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond. It is his first arrest. He's at Tri-Cities as a senior.
And it appears he is 17 years of age, just turned 17 about 20 days ago.
I did the math. You say he is in high school, Mr. McLean? This is quite upsetting. I understand these are just allegations, but
he just started his senior year, but he's going to graduate in December because he's in early graduation program. He intends to be in college. I didn't ask him where. I don't know if it's local.
Okay. All right. Does he have a co-signer if I decide to send this through pretrial services?
I have not yet reached his. I've been trying, but I haven't yet reached.
He's gonna have to. I'm not gonna do it without a co-signer. So let's start with that. Okay, so we're gonna maybe have to hold on this for a moment so Mr. McLean can try to reach them again. But defendant is gonna receive a $1,500 signature bond through pretrial services at level 3. That's $500 on each count. He is gonna take a 3-day anger awareness course. He's also gonna complete 30 hours of community service at a nonprofit, not a church. He is also going to be on curfew. His curfew will begin at 7 p.m. It runs till 6 a.m. He is to have no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and he is to be fully engaged in high school by providing certification of attendance to pretrial services.
Did you say 7 p.m. to what a.m.?
7 p.m. to 6 a.m.
6 a.m. The only objection would be the 30 hours community service because it is of a different character and nature than the other matters, Your Honor. But we understand. So I will keep trying to reach that.
Okay, the community service is going to stand, and he's got to have a co-signer. He cannot sign his own bond. So let's revisit that at the end of the calendar to get that co-signer's name.
Your Honor, really briefly, we just need to add the stay away and no further contact.
Oh,
Your
yes,
Honor,
he definitely
hadn't announced it yet.
Yes, he needs to stay away from that Dairy Queen, which I thoroughly enjoy, and have no contact with the alleged victim in that case.
Thank you.
I'm giving you a second chance, Mr. Blackwell. I fully intend for you to do all the requirements. You're on a path right now. If you continue down that path, I don't know where you'll be, but I don't want to see you again, and I hope that you will comply with the requirements that I've given you today. If Mr. McLean could perhaps speak to him again, can we put Mr. McLean maybe in a breakout briefly with South Annex so he can maybe get some more numbers? Because again, I am not going to let him be released without an adult co-signer.
If we can, Mr. McLean, can you use the telephone? Because we only have one computer.
Sure. Y'all could call me on if y'all want to call me, call my desk at 2-5215.
We will call you shortly. You can have a seat at that chair. And if you all are ready for the next position,
we are.
Position 26, patio, Roosevelt patio. One moment.
All right, Mr. Petio, is he coming? Your case is 25 CR 005015E. You're charged with obstruction. Do you understand your rights?
If at all possible, is it okay if I read something?
No. Do you understand your rights today? All right. Well, you have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And I'm conducting this hearing by video. You've been apprised of your rights. Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was May 21st, 2025, out of South Fulton for an FTA. There's 3 total arrest cycles, nothing further.
All right, thank you, Ms. Harrison.
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is $1,000 surety. Stay away from 5415 Old National Highway. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. Officers were patrolling this area, Your Honor, particularly in reference to a burglary that happened the night before at the New Orleans Daiquiri Bar, which is at this incident location. They saw the defendant and attempted to approach him. And when they approached him, they asked him for his ID, and he declined. And then he subsequently provided it to officers after informing officers that he was in the area looking for cigarettes. And when officers ran his GCIC, they noticed that he did have a warrant issued out of Union City. And that's when they placed him under arrest. And that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, my client is 28 years old. He is local. He is homeless right now. I need a social worker to give advice to him as to shelters. He graduated from what was Grady High School, now Midtown High School, in 2016. Your Honor, he served honorably in the Army for 6 years. He's having a rough patch this past 12 months by being homeless. He has applied for a job interview on Tuesday, tomorrow, at a restaurant. If there's any way for him to get a signature bond or a very, very low cash bond, that would, well, he's still got the warrant in Union City. That's the problem. He's not going to make, it's just tragic. He's not going to make that tomorrow job interview, but we would ask the court to give him a break. Thank you.
All right, defendant's going to receive a $10 cash bond. He's to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything additional? And he's going to be reset to all purpose on the 9th of September.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case for today. Who do we have next?
Position 36, Mr. Tarver.
All right, Mr. Tarver. Where is Mr. Tarver? Is he coming?
He's moving a little slow, but he's coming.
All right, Mr. Tarver, your case is 25 CR 005019G. You are charged with criminal trespass. You understand your rights? All right, thank you. Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was July 18th, 2025, out of Fulton for obstruction. There's 44 total arrest cycles. There's 4 felony convictions outside the last 10-year period. A 2021 misdemeanor conviction for battery, and then 7 misdemeanors outside of the last 10 years. There appears to be a probation case 17 SC 154896 for burglary. Nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond in this case. This incident took place on July 23rd. Officers were responding to Georgia Tech Police Department call. Where Yeah, the defendant was observed on camera attempting to remove a pair of bicycles from a bike rack located in front of the precinct. And when the officer encountered the defendant, he had a pair of black pliers in his hand, which he was ordered to drop to the ground. Surveillance footage was reviewed, and it was revealed that the defendant owned one of the bikes on the bike rack, which was secured with a lock, a Georgia Tech Police Department unlocked. Um, so officers had previously instructed the defendant on his property how to retrieve his bike back properly. Apparently, he'd made a report of it being lost or stolen. But on this particular day, he came and attempted to retrieve it himself, and he had an active criminal trespass warning barring him from entering this property until May 15th of 3030. So he was placed under arrest. And the state's recommendation, like I said, is a $2,000 surety bond, a stay away from all of Georgia Tech premises, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And we would just like to request a social worker visit if it's necessary, and that'll be all for the state.
All right, thank you, Mr. Merrill.
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry. Mr. Tarver, he is 54 years old, Your Honor. He's also a lifelong resident of Georgia. The courts does have the valid address for him that's in Odyssey. He doesn't present with any severe diagnosis, Your Honor, but my client, he is in the PAD program and he's currently being housed at Atlanta Rescue Mission, Your Honor. He is so what we're asking ultimately, we're asking if you can. I understand that this is going to be a large ask because he does have 44 cycles, and I know the court is concerned with the fact that he has the obstruction, as well as that he's currently on probation. But Your Honor, as indicated by the state, the bike that he was attempting to retrieve was his own bike. Now, I understand this court may also be concerned with why would his bike be on Georgia Tech's campus when he has a no band, Your Honor. I've spoken with my client about that, Your Honor, and so I would ask that a signature bond is given to Mr. Tarver, or given to Mr. Tarver because he was using those pliers to get his own bike retrieved from the property, as indicated by the state in and inside of the warrant.
All right. Defendant's going to receive a $5 cash bond. He stay away from Georgia Tech in its entirety. Have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Because he got a cash bond, he's going to all purpose on the 9th. And I am going to ask for a social worker visit. All right.
Yes,
Is
Your
there
Honor.
anything additional?
No, Your Honor. You said stay away, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, and social worker visit. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, thank you. Got it.
All right. Who do we have next?
Next is position 39, Mr. Wilburn.
All right, Mr. Wilbur, good afternoon. Your case is 25 CR 005036Y. You're charged with simple assault, certain acts in a bus or rail station, and I'm sorry, 2 counts of simple assault and certain acts in a bus or rail station. Do you understand your rights? I'm assuming that's a yes. Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was June 22nd, 2023 out of Fulton County for a probation violation. They have 34 adult cycles arrests out of Georgia and Texas. There was a felony conviction in 2016 for burglary, interference with government property, possession of marijuana with intent. There are 5 misdemeanor convictions outside the last 10-year period. There appears to be a hold out of Denver, Colorado. The date on the warrant is November 19th, 2008. Nothing further.
All right, thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on August 23rd on a MARTA train. I believe the train was stopped at the 70 East Holmes Drive station. Law enforcement responded to an assault there. They observed the defendant on camera on board the MARTA train. He had come in contact with the victim, Mr. DeAndres Wright, who explained that he was involved with a verbal altercation with the defendant. And the defendant walked to the back of the train and began to reach in a bag and yelled out to everyone, move out the way. And that caused all the patrons to run and scream because it appeared as though he was going to pull something out of the bag. And then he proceeded to reapproach Mr. Wright again. And this time he had a hand under his shirt to kind of indicate to the defendant that he was going to pull out a weapon and hurt him. And he was also observed standing over Mr. Wright in a threatening manner with one hand under his shirt, yelling out to patrons on the train to move out of the way. So the state's recommendation, Your Honor, in this case is $1,000 on each simple assault, so $2,000 surety there, and $500 on the prohibited acts. And we're asking for the defendant to stay away from H.E. Holmes MARTA station at 70 Hamilton Holmes Drive, and no contact with DeAndre's Wright, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And that'll be all for the state.
All right, is Mr. Wright present and wishes to make a brief statement? Hearing none, Mr. Merrill.
Yes, Your Honor. Before you is Mr. Wilburn, Your Honor. He is 40 years old. He's also a lifelong resident. Your Honor, he does have, if he was released today, he would be going to live with his mother. His mother is in Carrollton, Georgia, Your Honor. He does have 5 children. His youngest is staying with the mother, and that's the 3-year-old son, Your Honor. He does have a GED, Your Honor, but he is diagnosed with bipolar schizophrenia, Your Honor. I would be asking for Mr. Since he doesn't have any FTAs, he doesn't show that he'll would abscond when having to attend court, Your Honor, and as well as I know from speaking with the mother that she will make sure that he is able to get back and forth to court, Your Honor. I would ask that despite my client having the being a multi-state offender and the felonies, Your Honor, I didn't see a hold on the jail screen for extradition for Denver. The only hold that's on there is a parole hold from Georgia, but then there's also something that said yesterday the hold should be taken off. So I'm not sure if he's going down there for the parole hold, but that would be my only ask is that he's given a signature bond so that he can be able to attend to his hold, etc.
All right, defendant's gonna receive $1,000 surety bond, 250 count 1, 500 count 2, 250 count 3. He's to stay away from the H.E. Holmes MARTA station, have no contact with the alleged victim in this case, have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. And this case is gonna be reset to state all purpose on the September 9th calendar. Is there anything additional?
Nothing further from the defense.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Wilburn. That concludes your case for today. Who do we have next?
Next is position 12, Mr. Dawson.
I think that is Mr. McLean's. Can you do one with the letter of the alphabet? That'll be mine.
I'm
sorry.
ready.
Sorry, Mr. McLean is here. Sorry.
All right,
Ready.
Mr. Dawson, thank you. Your case is 25 CR 005020Y. In this case, you're charged with battery family violence and simple battery family violence. You understand your rights? All right, I'm assuming that's a yes, Ms. Hardy.
The last arrest was November 24th, 2024, out of Lowndes County for fleeing, driving while license suspended or revoked, and obstruction. They have 10 total arrest cycles. There appears to be a hold out of Valdosta for an FTA, and the date of that warrant is January 7th, 2025. Nothing further.
All right, thank you, Ms. Falk.
And Your Honor, he is currently in custody on that Lowndes County hold. So he is in our jail on that FTA. Looks like it was a failure to appear out of Lowndes County. I may be wrong. Hold on. No, it just said foreign county hold, Lowndes County. And there's a 24 SC case out of Lowndes County attached to it. So I think it is a failure to appear. This case, Your Honor, happened April 25th of 2025 at 240 Grant Street Southeast in Atlanta. Officers met with Mr. Lamont Taylor at that location. He stated that he and the defendant were drinking in the apartment they lived in together. They are in an intimate partnership. They were listening to music and talking. An argument began because Mr. Taylor said something that upset the defendant. The defendant began throwing things, picked up a glass vase, threw it at Mr. Taylor, and hit him in the back of the head with the vase. Officers did observe scratches on Mr. Taylor. He also stated that the defendant grabbed 2 knives out of a kitchen drawer. At that point, Mr. Taylor ran and hid in the bathroom and called 911. He stated that when he called 911, and Mr. Dawson, the defendant, stated that if he was going, he would take Mr. Taylor with him. He then threatened him with a gun, although Mr. Taylor did not see a gun as he was in the bathroom at the time. He did not see whether the defendant actually had a gun or not. And the defendant then fled the scene once it was clear police were coming to that location. He also let the officers know that there had been a physical location 3 weeks prior, showed the officer a bandaged left hand from that incident, but did state he had not called police at that time. Being that the defendant appears to have an FTA already in Lowndes County, had a fleeing and eluding in Lowndes County, and now has this new case, we are going to ask for a $4,000 surety bond, $3,000 on the family violence battery, $1,000 on the simple battery family violence. We did have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Taylor. He did state that they are no longer in a relationship. They no longer live together. He does still live at that residence, and the defendant has left. He did confirm the defendant threw a vase at him and stated that there has been communication since the incident. He is okay with no violent contact, but given that they no longer live together and aren't in a relationship, the state would ask for no further contact and a stay away from that location of Lamont Taylor at 240 Grant Street Southeast. We would like to sound at this time for Mr. Lamont Taylor, and that's all for the state. We also would ask for anger awareness as part of the conditions.
All right, is Mr. Taylor present? If you want to, please unmute. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm testimony you give today be the best truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right, we need you to turn the camera back on. All right. Again, there'll be other proceedings about this charge today. Do you wish to have contact, and do you have concerns for your safety? That's what I'm most concerned with today.
I have no issues with my safety, no issues with contact.
All right, thank you. Mr. McLean, any objection to a signature bond with no further violent contact and an anger awareness course?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Defendant is going to receive a $3,000 signature bond at level 1 through pretrial services. That'll be $2,000 on count 1, $1,000 on count 2. He's going to take a 1-day anger awareness course, have no further violent contact with the alleged victim, have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. Is there anything additional?
Just state objects to the signature bond, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to all parties concerned. Who do we have next?
Next is position 13, Mr. Evans.
Mr. Evans, your case is 25 CR 002. I'm sorry, 25 CR 005021G. I'm sorry, I'm getting tired. In this case, you're charged with criminal trespass. Do you understand your rights today? All right, I'm assuming that's a yes, Ms. Hardy.
The last arrest was June 26, 2024 out of Gwinnett for a probation violation. There's 14 total arrest cycles in Georgia. There was a felony conviction in 2024 for burglary, and it appears that they're on first offender probation for that. There's a 2023 criminal trespass misdemeanor conviction. Nothing further.
All right, thank you. Ms. Falk?
Your Honor, in addition, the defendant was arrested on, looks like he was arrested for loitering and prowling June 10th of 2025. He was sentenced July 15th of 2025 by Judge Dixon. And that is case number 25 CR 003280. He received 12 months, served 35 days, balance suspended, stay away from 1081 Woodland Avenue in Atlanta. This incident, Your Honor, the defendant went to the location of, just go back to where I was, of 1075 Woodland Avenue Northeast, Unit 1, which is the property of the Braden Fellman Group. He broke one of the windows to an apartment in an apparent attempt to make entry into that apartment. The defendant was located inside of the apartment and was arrested. The officers spoke with Miss Janae Bassel, who stated they have seen the defendant in the complex for several weeks, bringing individuals along with him, and they had heard someone breaking glass and moving around in the apartment beneath theirs, at which point they found the defendant. We would ask that the bond of $600 surety, which is already set on this case, remain as set. We also ask that he stay away from that location at 1075 let me just get back to that address, at 1075 Woodland Avenue Northeast in Atlanta, and that he have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons in a social worker visit. We are particularly concerned because he just bonded out in July and is back here within a month's time. That's all for the state.
All right, Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, he's 37. Despite that South Carolina past, he is definitely a Georgian now. He's been associated with Georgia for about a decade. He has his high school diploma. He has been in at a medical office. He's done company work, also administrative and clerical work. He is very industrious and has worked part-time in addition to full-time jobs, doing things like Uber and Lyft to keep body and soul together. Your Honor, he asked the court to consider the lowest possible bond, including whatever signature bond is available, and if that is impossible, illegal, then we would ask for a $1,000 surety.
Right. Defendant will receive $1,000 surety bond. He's to stay away from that location, have no alcohol, drugs, weapons, and he is going to all purpose on September the 9th. Is there anything additional?
Your Honor, we just renew our request for a social worker visit for housing.
All right, and a social worker should visit him prior to release. Best of luck to you, Mr. Evans. What do we have next?
Wait on my call. Hi, excuse me, Judge. The interpreter is about to sign on, and she wants to know if her case can be heard as soon as possible.
They're going to have to use her to interview, so.
Okay.
No, Your Honor, I used the interpreter link to be able to do the interview. We just can so I have my interview notes. He is position number 28 that needs the interpreter.
Okay. Is she here now? Because we want to keep moving and we're sitting here waiting for her. She here?
She's coming in now. We can take another case, but she just wanted to inform us.
Understood, Miss Grace, and I'll do all that I can. Is this position, can we go ahead and take position 28? Let's at least put 28 in the chair.
Oh.
Maybe not.
Yeah, that's
yes, Your Honor, one more.
All right. In the meantime, let's take a position at ACDC. I think who can we take at ACDC?
This is 28 right here.
Okay, is interpreter present?
If you won't call, no, well, never.
Okay, we'll take somebody else. Can we go to the next position? We'll come back to 28.
Position 6, Miss Bush.
All right. Has she heard her right?
Yes, Your Honor, they have.
All right, Ms. Bush, your case is 25 CR 005041B. You're charged with 2 counts of battery family violence and 1 count of simple battery family violence. You understand your rights? All right, Ms. Hardy.
Last arrest was May 15th, 2015, out of Atlanta for theft by receiving. There's 2 arrest cycles in Georgia. There was a 2014 misdemeanor conviction for battery, nothing further.
All right, thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. I wanted to see if the previous conviction for battery was out of Fulton County. Okay. So in this case, Your Honor, the incident happened on August 24th of 2025 at 48 Clare Drive, Southeast in Atlanta. Officers spoke with Denise Gowdy, who stated that her daughter had assaulted her. She had a busted lip and a scratch on her neck. She stated that she had come home from work. The defendant resides with her and was lying in bed with food in her room. She stated she confronted her about bringing food into her room. The defendant then became verbally aggressive. Ms. Gowdy began recording the verbal dispute, which led to a physical altercation. And the defendant at that point got into Ms. Gowdy's face and then physically attacked her. The officers did provide a link, which Ms. Gowdy was able to upload the video she had recorded to evidence.com. She also stated that as of a week prior, there had been some MH issues that had caused her to refer her to Grady. And that is all I feel comfortable getting into on the record. I will say we have had an opportunity to speak with Miss Gowdy about her daughter. She did state that she called the police so that her daughter could receive some assistance. And she stated that she has an appointment for her daughter on the 28th that she believes that may help her get back on track. She wants the defendant to return to the residence so she can help her with treatment. We are agreeable to a signature bond through pretrial services. We are also agreeable to no further violent contact with Miss Gowdy. We also ask that she comply with any medications as prescribed by any healthcare professional, and that she attend the appointment that her mother has set for her on August 28th as a requirement of probation. Of her bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We would at this time like to sound for Miss Denise Gowdy.
All right, is Ms. Gowdy present? Wishes to make a brief statement?
Yes, as you know, this is a very
No, wait. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. All right, please make sure you don't make any reference to anything medical sensitive on this record. What I'm most concerned with today is whether you wish to have contact with the defendant and if you fear for your safety. And I know that there needs to be some things you want to tell me, but there will be other proceedings. Again, this is just a bond hearing, so I just need to get those official initial positions. So please proceed.
Yes to the first question, and no, I don't feel like I'll be in a threatened environment as long as she follows through the conditions of her release, which is her medical treatment.
Okay. All right, Ms. Falk, I'm sorry, did you recommend a signature bond?
Yes, I did a signature bond through pretrial services because it has to go through pretrial services being it's a family violence case. But yes, I just wanted Ms. Gowdy to understand that the state is recommending she be released to your care.
All right. Mr. Merrill, any objection? Or is this Mr. McLean's case?
It's mine, Your Honor. I believe my client probably has no objection to that condition of making that appointment. Is that correct, Ms. Bush?
He's looking a little overcome, but apparently. Okay, are there any other objections you wish to lodge, Mr. McLean?
None. Thank you.
All right. Defendant's going to receive a $3,000 signature bond at level 1 through pretrial services. She's to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim and comply with all recommended treatment, including that initial visit. She's to have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, and she will be reset for the notice. I am also going to require her to take the 1-day anger awareness course. Is there anything additional?
Nothing.
Nothing from the state.
All right. Best of luck to all parties concerned.
Your Honor,
yes.
To reach somebody, a brother, an older brother, old enough to be an adult co-signer for Blackwell. And
All
so,
right. Can you set that name to Ms. Hardy, please? Thank you. Ms. Hardy, that'll be the co-signer required for the case we discussed earlier.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Lucia.
I will also need it to put on the order, please.
Thank you. I apologize, Ms. Bridgewater.
No problem.
Is he on Zoom already?
No, but we need to take this other case really quickly. Lucia, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm today that you'll make an accurate translation from English to Spanish, Spanish to English to the best of your skills, knowledge, and ability?
I do.
All right. We're going to take up position 28. This is the case of Roberto Pina Goana. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Case 25 CR 005032B, in which defendant is charged with criminal trespass. Sir, you have a right to remain silent and you have a right to an attorney. Do you understand that today?
Señor Roberto Piña, este es su caso 25CR00532B. Usted está siendo acusado de allanamiento de morada. Criminal trespass, Your Honor, and what else?
Just criminal trespass.
Oh, allanamiento de morada. ¿Entiende usted eso?
No, no entiendo, pero pues quisiera salir de aquí, por favor.
Don't say too much, sir. Do you understand your rights?
Entiende, no tiene que decirme mucho ahorita. La pregunta es si es que entiende sus derechos.
Sí.
Yes. All right. Ms. Hardy, can I please have the history?
Pues pidiendo su historial a la oficina de ella.
The last arrest was May 28, 2015, out of DeKalb for aggravated assault and a CWAC charge.
El último arresto que tuvo por agresión fue en el condado de DeKalb el 28 de mayo del 2015.
There are 4 total cycles arrests out of Alabama and Georgia.
Hay 4 ciclos de arresto de Georgia y Alabama.
There is a misdemeanor conviction in 2008 for theft by shoplifting. Nothing further to report.
Y en el 2008 hubo que le encontraron culpable de un delito menor por robo o usurpar.
All right, Harrison.
The state's recommendation, Your Honor, is in line with the preset bond, which is a $600 surety bond. And we're asking for a stay away from 815 Sydney March Road, which is the dump.
Estamos pidiendo, aparte de el bono de fianza, que una orden de que permanezca lejos del 815 Sydney Mark, lo cual es del sitio donde está la tienda de dump.
And this incident occurred on August 24th when officers observed a group of males in the parking lot area. They approached them and asked for ID.
Esto ocurrió el 24 de agosto cuando policías miraron un grupo de hombres en el estacionamiento, se acercaron y pidieron identificación.
Because this is an area known for trespassing.
Porque esta es un área que es conocida por allanamiento de morada.
And defendant provided his information. Officers were able to confirm that he'd been previously trespassed from the location.
Y cuando el acusado dio su identificación, los oficiales de las agentes pudieron confirmar que él había sido acusado de este traspaso, de este allanamiento anteriormente.
He was placed under arrest at that time, and that'll be all for the state.
Le arrestaron en ese momento y es todo lo que la fiscalía tiene.
All right, Mr. Merrill.
Yes, Your Honor. My client, Mr. Pina, he is 49 years old. He's been living in Georgia for over 20 years.
Su abogado defensor dice que usted tiene 49 años de edad y ha estado viviendo en Georgia, I'm sorry, for how many years?
20 plus.
Por más de 20 años.
He has a valid address out of Chamblee, Georgia.
Tiene una dirección válida en la ciudad de Chamblee, en Georgia.
My client has professional certifications in construction.
Y mi cliente tiene certificación profesional en construcción.
One of the ways that he obtained business is that when he's at, Home Depots or Lowe's, people will come up to him to see if he could be a contractor for their developments.
Una forma de la que él consigue trabajo es él está en el estacionamiento de Home Depot o de Dump, donde personas vienen y lo contratan para sus proyectos de construcción.
I can attest that this is something that happens very often, especially at places that have hardware, etc.
Y yo puedo decir que esto pasa con frecuencia en lugares donde venden herramientas y productos que tengan que ver con eso.
Mr. Merrill, do you object to a $5 cash bond and a stay away?
No. I was going to ask for a signature bond for the record, but I do not object to a $5.
All right. Defendant's going to receive a $5 cash bond, and he's to stay away from the address on Sydney Marcus, have no alcohol, drugs, weapons.
Ok, y el fallo de la juez es una fianza por $5. Tiene que ser Sydney Marcus y no puede tener drogas o alcohol ni consumirlas durante el tiempo que esté bajo fianza.
All right. Is there anything additional from the state of the defense?
I just want to make sure that he understands his bond is $5. That's all.
¿Comprende usted que su fianza tiene que pagar $5? ¿Comprende usted eso?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Best of luck to you.
Judge, are you still pending Patty? I'm sorry.
And Your Honor, if
Lord.
that is all, may I please be dismissed?
Please go ahead and sound Lucia, please.
Joshua.
Damas y caballeros, si es que hay alguien más que necesite un intérprete en español, por favor levante su mano o párese en este momento. Anybody, Your Honor, I asked if they could raise their hand or stand up.
All right. Hearing none. Thank you, Lucia. Take care. Have a wonderful afternoon.
You too, Judge Williams. Have a good
Okay.
afternoon.
Bye-bye. I'm sorry, what was the question earlier?
Are we still pending Joshua Lord? I know you said wait.
Yeah, we have to do those two cases at the end. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
All right, who do we have next?
Position 16, Mr. Gordon.
All right, Mr. Gordon, your case is 25 CR 0050009F. You're charged with disorderly conduct and criminal trespass. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Hardy?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, which Gordon is this? 15 or
Position
16?
16.
It's Robert Gordon.
I don't have. Okay, I'm sorry. The last arrest was August 17th, 2018, out of Douglas County for driving without a license. They have 16 total arrest cycles, arrests out of Georgia and Florida. There's a 2019 felony conviction for uttering forged bills. There's 4 misdemeanor convictions outside the last 10-year period. Nothing further to report.
Ms. Hardy, how many cycles?
16 total.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This happened January 30th of 2025 back at the Shell gas station at 1100 Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell. The officers were called out and met with Shafin Nayan, who stated that the defendant was wearing all black clothing, had come in, caused a disturbance over not liking the products he had just purchased, and then left on foot. He had been using abusive language, profanity. Mr. Chafin told him to get out of the store. He then went outside where Chafin's vehicle was parked and threw a trash can onto the vehicle, causing abrasions on the top of the trunk area as well as on the passenger side tail light. The officers then I believe this was also, I just want to make sure, yes, this was also picked up on the security camera footage at that location. Currently, the defendant has a bond set for him of $1,000 surety bond. I am not sure if the defendant, just wanted to check something. It does not appear the defendant has any significant history, so therefore the state is agreeable to a signature bond through pretrial services. No further contact with Mr. Chafin. Stay away from the Chevron located at the address stated 1100 Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell. Excuse me, and it's a Shell gas station. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. That's all for the state.
Right. Any objection to the signature bond, which I'm inclined to grant, Mr. Merrill?
No objection to a signature bond.
All right. Defendant is going to receive a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services at level 1, 1,000 on each count. He said have no contact with Mr. I'm sorry, what was that name, Ms. Fulk?
Chafin is his last name.
Chafin.
Hafen. First name is going to be, let's see.
Nayan.
Nayon.
All right, no contact with that individual and stay away from that gas station on Holcomb Bridge Road. Have no alcohol, drugs, weapons, and the case will be reset. Further notice. Is there anything additional? All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position 17, Mr. Hammett.
Mr. Hammett, your case is 25 CR 005037D. You're charged with one count of battery family violence and 3 counts of simple battery family violence. You understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Hardy.
Last arrest was September 27, 2013, out of Milton for a DUI. 2 total arrest cycles, misdemeanor conviction in 2016 for DUI. Nothing further.
So just DUI. Well, there was nothing violent. I'm just making sure, Ms. Hardy.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for making that confirmation. All right, Ms. Falk, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. This happened August 24th, 2025 at 610 Owens Oak Circle in Alpharetta. Officers spoke with Lasha Hammett, who stated that over the past month, she had been having problems due to the defendant's drinking. She stated that they had gotten into an argument. And during the argument, he shoved her up against a wall, placed his hand on her neck, saying, "I will choke the S out of you." She tried pushing him off to break free, and then he punched her in the left eye. The officers did observe a swollen mark under her left eye on her cheekbone that corresponded with that. She did say she could breathe while he had his hands on her neck. And officers also went and spoke with the defendant. He stated that they had been arguing. He claimed she came at him and he pushed him against the wall. So he pushed back to restrain her. He also admitted to drinking vodka that night and having between 2 or 3 drinks. When the officers asked where she struck him and pushed him, he pointed to the areas. Officers did not observe any kind of bruising or marks on him whatsoever. And they placed him under arrest as a result of this. Both parties did acknowledge that the defendant had placed his hand on her neck. The state is agreeable. Let me see, just a moment. I just want to double check with something. The state is going to ask for a SOB through pretrial services level 2. We are also going to ask for an ADET as part of that. An FEIP, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We are going to ask for no further contact and a stay away at this time. This incident actually occurred yesterday at 10:10 p.m. So it's been less than 24 hours. We do not have any statement from Ms. Hammett to contradict that she does want contact at this time. We will continue to reach out to her, but barring that, because of the lack of cooling off period, we are going to ask at this time for no further contact with Ms. Hammett and a stay away from that address. We would like to sound for Lasha Hammett at this time.
I'm here.
For the state.
I'm here,
Okay,
ma'am.
hold 1 second. I do the sounding, even though Ms. Falk has said that she wants you to sound. One question. You did say the state was requesting an ADET?
Yes.
Okay.
Just because of the history combined with the drinking that was happening at the scene on this day.
Okay. All right. Ma'am, if you wish to make a statement, Ms. Hammett, please turn on your camera, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right. Before you begin, what I'm most concerned with is whether you wish to have contact and you have any concerns for your safety. In light of that information, what would you like to tell me?
Okay, well, Your Honor, I understand the seriousness of what happened, but I do not feel afraid for my safety. And I would like for my husband to be allowed to return home under a no violent contact condition. He helps care for his bedridden mother who lives with us. And I believe that this was an isolated incident. It has never happened before. We've been married for 25 years. So I believe it was an isolated incident. I spoke with someone earlier and told them that, so I'm not sure how we missed that. But I do want us to have the opportunity to work on our marriage. I've already reached out to someone for counseling, and I will comply with any conditions the court feels necessary.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming to court to make that statement, Ms. Hammond. Mr. Merrill?
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. So sorry, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Ricky Hammond, who sits before you in courtroom 2, he is 50 years old. He's a lifelong resident. He also, as indicated by his wife, Mrs. Hammond, they live in Alpharetta. As she also indicated, he does provide total care for his mother, who is also bedridden. Your Honor, in essence, we are asking that he is given a signature bond. We're amenable to the alcohol drug evaluation. What we are asking instead of FIP, if he can do a 1-day anger management instead, Your Honor, he has no violent history at all versus doing the 24 weeks for the FVIP, Your Honor, and especially indicated by Ms. Mrs. Hammett, that they will be going to counseling, etc.
Okay. Defendant's going to receive a $4,000 signature bond at level 2, $1,000 on each count. He's going to take a 2-day anger awareness course and undergo an ADET. He's to have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, and he's to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim in this case. Is there anything additional?
Nothing from the state.
All right.
Nothing
Best
further
of
from the
luck to
defendant.
all parties concerned. That case is concluded for today. Who do we have next?
Position 29, Mr. Ryder.
Calendar that will not end. Mr. Ryder, your case number is 25CR005024E. In this case, you're charged with loitering and prowling. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Hardy, can I have the history, please?
Yes, Your Honor. The last arrest was April 30th, 2025 out of Clayton for a probation violation. They have one arrest cycle in Georgia. Nothing further to report.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor, the state's recommendations in line with the preset bonds, which is $1,200 surety, a stay away from all Georgia Institute of Technology property, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. We'd also ask for no contact with the co-defendants in this case, which are Derek and Kimberly Carter. This stemmed from a June 7th, 2025 incident, where dispatch was called to the property because 3 individuals were observed tampering with bicycles and grabbing on the handles of unoccupied vehicles across the property. Like there was an incident at the dining hall, at the parking deck, just various places around Georgia Institute of Technology campus. This particular defendant, though, was not actually identified as one of the individuals pulling on vehicle handles. So the state's recommendation is a $1,200 surety bond, Your Honor, and we're asking for a stay away from all Georgia Institute of Technology property and no contact with Derek Carter and Kimberly Carter, and that'll be all for this.
Okay, any objection, Mr. Merrill, to a $5 cash bond, stay away from the co-defendants no contact with co-defendants and stay away from Georgia Tech?
Our defense would have asked for a signature bond, but we have no objection to a $5 cash bond.
All right, defendant's gonna receive a $5 cash bond. He is to stay away from Georgia Tech property in its entirety, have no contact with the co-defendants, have no alcohol, drugs, weapons, and that matter is going to all purpose on September the 9th. Is there anything additional from State or Defense?
No, nothing from the defense.
All right, hearing none, best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case for today. Who do we have next?
Next is position 31, Mr. Rivera.
All right, Mr. Rivera, I'm sorry. Ms. Rivera. Nope.
No, it's Mr. Eli.
Mr. Eli Rivera? I'm looking at the wrong position. I'm sorry, I'm looking at number 30. I'm sorry, I printed across 2 things. Mr. Rivera, your case is 25CR005023A. In this case, you're charged with obstruction and giving false information. You understand your rights? Thank you, Ms. Hardy.
The last arrest was May 30th, 2025 out of Cobb for aggravated assault. That is their own. I'm sorry, that was the wrong history. The last arrest was May the 27th, 2025 out of Camden County for criminal trespass. They have 2 arrest cycles out of Georgia. Nothing further.
Okay. All right, Ms. Harrison.
Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety, a stay away from Walmart at 844 Cleveland Avenue in East Point, Georgia. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol. This incident occurred. An officer observed the defendant at the Walmart. He was charging his phone. Officers asked him to identify himself, and he told officers his name was Carlos Rivera with a date of birth of November 11th, 1988. Officers ran him through the system and nothing came back on file. He informed officers that he was from Florida. They informed him that also gave them no hits. And they asked him again, they asked him again for his correct name and date of birth, and he started to run. He attempted to run from officers on foot, and he was given commands to stop, and officers subsequently had to chase him down to place him in handcuffs and detain him. And that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. I'm sorry, your recommendation, Ms. Harrison, was what? What was the
$2,000 surety bond, Your Honor, and stay away from the Walmart on Cleveland Avenue. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol.
Okay, Mr. Merrill, do you object to a $10 cash bond and a stay away?
No.
All right. Defendant is going to receive a $10 cash bond, $5 on each count. He's to stay away from Walmart, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything additional?
No, nothing further from the defense.
All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Rivera. Who do we have next?
Next is position 37, Mr. Warden.
Ms. Hammond. Mr. Worthing, your case is 25 CR 005053Y. I'm sorry, 50. Yes. In this case, you're charged with theft by shoplifting. You understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, Miss Hardy.
The last arrest was March 23rd, 2024, out of Johns Creek for an FTA. There's 11 total arrest cycles. Felony conviction in 2017 for theft by shoplifting. They received first offender on that, and it was sealed in 2020. There appears to be a hold out of Marietta for a larceny case. The date of that warrant is June the 8th, 2025, and also a hold out of Lawrenceville for possession of heroin. And the date of that one is August the 1st, 2025. Nothing further to report.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Worthing, you have 3 counts of theft by shoplifting. Please proceed, Ms. Harrison.
Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a $1,500 surety, $500 on each count, anti-theft course, a stay away from the Home Depot at 640 Peachtree Road, Dunwoody Road, Peachtree Dunwoody Road. In Sandy Springs, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. This incident occurred on June 15th, 2025 at this Home Depot in Sandy Springs. The defendant actually was observed entering the business with an empty bag and he walked towards the electrical station and then walked to the customer service desk and returned items totaling $316. He was provided with cash and left the location. I'm sorry. He used a receipt that belonged to a general contractor, and he was subsequently identified through his vehicle and the tags. He also entered the store again on June 26th, and proceeded to the customer service desk again, trying to do the same thing for a different transaction for some insulation. The state's recommendation, Your Honor, like I said, is a $1,500 surety bond. We're asking for a stay away from the Home Depot, an anti-theft course, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And that'll be all for this.
All right, Mr. Merrill.
Yes, Your Honor. Before us is Mr. Chisholm Worthen. Your Honor, he did appear on, just because this is going to go into my bond factors, he did appear in the felony court today. His current bond in the felony court is $2,600. So just that's going to come back up at the end with me. Mr. Worthen, he is 38 years old. He also is a lifelong resident. He does live in Alpharetta, Georgia. He is also expecting a child. He's also expecting a child. He is a contractor, Your Honor. He helps build houses. That is, he also has professional certifications throughout construction, through different construction certifications, Your Honor. What I would be asking, Your Honor, is because he does have to answer to the holds in Cobb and in Gwinnett County, I'm actually asking for a signature bond on this, especially since he has to pay a $2,600. My understanding is that the public defender who represented him in the felony case is going to try to refer him through the bail project, but the problem is that he has these holds, and sometimes the bail project won't take him if he has the holds. And so that would be my request, because we're on an uphill battle to try to get him out so he can be able to get to his holds. Get to his holds. Sorry.
All right, defendant's gonna receive a $30 cash bond, $10 on each count. He's to stay away from that Home Depot, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything additional?
No, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case for today. Who do we have next?
You said no drugs, alcohol, and weapons, right?
Correct.
Okay.
You can assume that for everyone.
Well, that's what I figured. Thank you. I see 2 people at ACDC, and I have 1 that has waived their presence.
All right, can we take the ACDC position? Oh, please, can we take the ACDC positions?
Officer Milton. Oh, I think she's walking up.
She's coming. She's coming. Thank you, Milton.
Welcome, Your Honor. Next, we have position 14, Ms. Goodwin.
All right, good afternoon, Ms. Goodwin. Your case is 25 CR 005002G. 22G, I'm sorry. You're charged with simple battery family violence. You understand your rights? All right, Ms. Hardy.
The last arrest was July 9th, 2018 out of Fulton County for CWAC charge and reckless conduct. There are 6 total arrest cycles in Georgia. Nothing further.
All right, thank you, Ms. Falk.
Excuse me, what
Yes,
position is this?
Number 14.
Thank you.
I was just going to ask pretrial if she is still on probation on that other charge.
I'm not sure. I don't have access to probation.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So in this case, Your Honor, this incident happened back on August 22nd of 2025 at 2900 Landrum Drive Southwest in Atlanta. Officers spoke with Jean Baptiste. He stated that he resides with the defendant, who is a roommate, and at about 6 p.m., the defendant poured a bucket of mop water on his face and his belongings. He called the police at that time, and the officers arrived and placed the defendant under arrest. Upon speaking with the defendant before she was placed under arrest, she did admit to pouring a bucket of water on Mr. Jean Baptiste, and she also stated she poured water on his items because she paid for them and has the right to do so. The officers did observe water all over the floor and a dirty mop water that was halfway full. The state's recommendation on this case is going to be, let me see, signature bond through pretrial services. We are going to ask for no further contact with Mr. Jean Baptiste. Stay away from the residence at 2900 Landrum Drive Southwest in Atlanta, being that this just happened in the last 2 days. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and 1 day of anger awareness. That's all for the state. And we would like to sound for Mr. Jean Baptiste if he is present and would like to speak.
Is Mr. Jean Baptiste present and wishes to make a statement? Mr. Merrill, any objection to this SOB through pretrial, which I'm inclined to grant?
It's Mr. McClain, but we have no objection.
No objection.
All right, defendant's going to receive a $2,000 SOB through pretrial at level 1. She's going to have no contact with Mr. John Baptiste and stay away from that address. Should she need to return, she can do so one time with a member of law enforcement. She's going to take the 1-day anger awareness course, have no alcohol, drugs, weapons, and will be reset. Further notice. Is there anything additional?
Nothing from the state.
All right, best of luck to you. That concludes your case for today. Who do we have next?
Position 18, Ms. Harris.
I have Gordon. Oh, never mind.
All right. Ms. Harris, your case is 25 CR 5030J. You're charged with 2 counts of battery family violence and 1 count of simple battery family violence. You understand your rights today? All right, Ms. Hardy.
The last arrest was December 14th, 2024, out of APD for driving while license suspended or revoked. That is their only arrest cycle, nothing further.
All right, thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This happened March 9th, 2025 at 1200 Utoy Springs Road, Southwest in South Fulton. Officers spoke with Mr. Charles Williams, who stated he was the landlord of the property and heard a disturbance coming from the apartment. They then made contact with Mr. Semaj Young, who stated that the defendant spit on him and punched him in the face after he called her the B word. He stated that he and Ms. Harris began fighting at that point and that they have been in a relationship for 6 years, share a daughter, and he stated he had just moved in with her on March 7th of 2025. The officers did observe injuries to his upper and bottom lip and observed swelling and bleeding to those areas based on the punch. And there is, just trying to double check, we did not make contact with Mr. Young, so at this time we are going to ask if she still resides there, that she no longer reside there. If she does not reside there, to stay away from that location. No further contact with Mr. Young, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and we are not going to request anger management in this given the age of the case. We would like to sound for Mr. Semaj Young, and in case I didn't say this, we're agreeable to an SOB through pretrial services. That's all for the state.
Is Mr. Young present? Okay, I'm inclined to give the SOB with okay, I'm going to think about this. Question, you said that does she reside at that address, Mr. Merrill? Do we have a different address for her, or does she still reside there?
That's Mr. McClain.
I'm sorry, Mr. McClain, does she reside there?
I explained to her that if he still resides there, the police officer would find out.
Okay. So I'm sorry. She
She,
does reside at that address?
my understanding is that she resides there, but if that's the place that he, if Your Honor tells her to stay away, she would ask for a one-time escort.
And does he still reside there?
I don't know if he has vacated or if he intends to stay.
Okay.
Well, Your Honor, I will state that, yeah, he said he had moved in with her at that location, so I am not sure at this time. So we'd ask for a one-time law enforcement escort. If he is no longer residing there, she can retake residency. If he is, she'll need to find another location, would be the state's request.
In light of the age of it, I'm going to do no further violent contact. All right. Defendant is going to receive a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services, $1,000 on each count. She's to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim. I'm not going to order to stay away at this time. She's to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, but she is going to take the one-day anger awareness course. Is there anything additional?
Your Honor,
Nothing.
what level was that?
Level 1.
Thank you.
Thank you. Case will be reset for the notice.
And you said one-day anger awareness, Your Honor?
I did.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Who do we have next?
If we could take the client who waived his presence, is Cornell
All right,
Pierce.
is the
Oh.
courtroom empty too, so we can do that other? Is there somebody select courtroom 2, so we can do the other case that was at South Annex?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
Miss-
he also has the same charge, if that matters.
Yeah, we have 2 cases, Your Honor, with that
All
charge.
right, is everybody
Reporting another defendant.
I'm missing position 3030.
And I'm missing Regina Curry and Amber
I think
Bar-
wasn't 30 a waiver? Did I write that down? No.
I had 31 and 38 as waivers, not 30.
Let me look at 30.
Is ACDC complete?
Yeah, we have
No,
3
I have to
females.
go get
You have to
Amber
go.
and Curry.
You have to go get Curry and what number? I'm sorry, you have to go get Curry and who else?
Amber.
Position 1?
Yes,
Okay.
position.
Okay, we're gonna do the positions at South Annex first. Can we turn off the live stream, please?
And I just want to inquire, Mike, did you talk to Amber and Regina Curry?
No.
Okay.